You understand that the U.S. government is analyzing a tape that appears to have Osama bin Laden on it. They are vetting that right now, and we want to take you straight to CNN's justice correspondent, Kelly Arena, who is looking into this story as well. And I guess the big question, Kelly, is whether this tape indeed has Osama on it, and two, whether it's a new tape or an old one.
Well, that's right, and we haven't gotten too much from U.S. officials who do say that they are looking hard at that tape. I mean, it does appear to be Osama bin Laden, but the official that CNN spoke to said that they're just looking to make sure that it actually is him. No indication on how long that tape was or what the message on that tape is, and we'll be getting more of that information, obviously, as the day goes along. You know, if it is him, Betty, this would be the first time that we've seen Osama bin Laden since 2004. So it's been a long time that his followers have actually seen him. Lots of speculation about what condition he was in health-wise. You know, why haven't we seen him? There have been audio messages from bin Laden just as recently as last year. So we have heard messages, and it's not uncommon actually to get a message around the anniversary of the September 11th attacks from Al-Qaeda. You may remember last year we did a lot of reporting on those martyr messages from the 9/11 hijackers that came out on the 5th anniversary. So not uncommon to get a message like this, but again, not a lot of details yet on if it actually is him, and if it is, what he's got to say.
Yeah, and the timing is also suspect. Do you have any idea how long it's going to take for the government officials to mull over this tape and decide if indeed it is Osama bin Laden?
You know, that's always a question. It depends on the quality of the tape, and you know, this is something that sometimes could take days. I mean, they can tell pretty quickly, though. I would assume by the end of the day whether or not they have, you know, they're dealing with the real thing here. As you saw, I mean, if the image of him looks like the image that was advertised with a much darker beard, you know, he looks very different than he has looked in the past.
I shall be speaking to you on important topics which concern you, so lend me your ears. I begin by discussing the war which is between us and some of its repercussions for us and you. To begin, I say, despite America being the greatest economic power and possessing the most powerful and up-to-date military arsenal as well, and despite its spending on this war and its army more than the entire world spends on its armies, and despite it being the major state influencing the policies of the world as it has a monopoly on the unjust right of veto, despite all of this, and by the grace of God, 19 young men were able to change the directions of his compass, and in fact, the subject of the Mujahideens has become an inseparable part of the speech of your leader, and the effects and signs of that are not hitting.
By Al-Qaeda, you know, something that helps, at least, you know, according to the experts, helps with recruiting, helps with rallying the troops, getting the message out, and of course, you know, this is a man who still very much embodies the inspiration for this terror organization. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about how important he is, how you know, is he still relevant? You know, the fact is that yes, you know, there are followers who would be very buoyed by seeing him and hearing a message, you know, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So it would be very significant, at least according to the people who, you know, who follow these things very closely.